Hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of me attempting to get first place in every race, in every cup, in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Now, I wanted to start off with a bit of a blooper reel, if you will, because today we're doing Star Cup, and Star Cup is very interesting for me, because I feel like along the base cups at least, it would, in my opinion, pretty much be the undisputed champion if it wasn't for this stage, Dolphin Shoals. I think every other map in this cup is honestly really fun to play as, or play on, my bad. And when I play this game with friends, family, you know, that kind of thing, I think Electrodome and Mount Wario are basically guaranteed picks if we're just, you know, picking stages. They're pretty much guaranteed to be played during that multiplayer Mario Kart session. And then I feel like Sunshine Airport is fairly common. Like, we play it decently often, but maybe, you know, during our kind of Mario Kart session, maybe we won't play it, you know, one day, but it's still pretty popular. But Dolphin Shoals is rarely picked, at least between, you know, me and my friends' family. You know. So, I'm sorry if you're a big fan of Dolphin Shoals, but unfortunately, I just think it's, you know, it's an okay map. It's far from the worst, but I would put it very, like, middle of the pack, maybe end of, like, bottom end of middle of the pack, so sorry if that offends you, but, you know, that's my personal opinion. So feel free to disagree with me in the comments and let me know why my opinion is wrong and Dolphin Shoals is the most S-tier map, but I'm like, that's just me. But anyway, kind of going off of what I said a little bit before though, this cup is super solid overall. Honestly, some of the best, at least base courses that this game has to offer. I do feel like some of the DLC cups do probably take the cake as maybe like my favorite cup in this game. I would have to review all of them individually, so let me know if you'd be interested in seeing a ranking video at the end of this series after I've played through each cup, so that it's, you know, each cup is relatively fresh in my mind. So let me know if you'd be interested in me kind of doing like a ranking the best to worst cups in this game. Because if you thought my opinion on Dolphin Shoals was bad, oh boy, I'm sure I can make a lot of people mad with that video. But it's like, it's weird because I think of individual courses. What me and other people do when we're all playing this game together typically is I like to, if we're doing just races, we'll go on to the Versus mode. I believe it's called the Versus mode and not the Grand Prix, and then we'll just set the amount of courses to like 48 courses, which is like, holy cow, that's a lot, but we usually don't make it through 48 courses. It's just kind of to set a huge number so we don't have to reset, because at the end it's kind of like more about just playing the tracks individually than necessarily like, you know, who wins overall in terms of points. Like, I feel like, you know, Grand Prix is mostly like that, so I tend to when I play with others, I tend to just do it that way, so it's actually kind of hard for me to think about cups individually without, like looking at them. I feel like once I start playing them, I'll be like, oh yeah, this course is next and everything, but while I'm not like just looking at it on like the course select screen, I feel like it's hard for my brain to think of, okay, what 4 races are in each of the cups. But I'm like, at least I've played every single race, some more, or every single track, some more than others, so I do think I would at least have a decent enough opinion on every map to know where I'd put it in if I did like a ranking system, like I was mentioning. But at the same time, hey, I'm not upset about having an excuse to go back and play some Mario Kart and Express, to refresh my memory. I ain't complaining about that. Especially because I know there's a lot of like controversy on how everyone feels on World, and in terms of just like a fun multiplayer experience, I still think this game I like more than World. I don't think World's a bad game. I'm not gonna get into like a ton of details because eventually I do wanna kind of sit down and discuss it with some other people and kind of bounce off ideas and opinions with other people than just hearing myself ramble about it. But I would give this game like a 9 out of 10, and then I'd give World like a 7 out of 10 ish, probably at the moment. So I am interested to hear your guys' thoughts on that, though. And I was also thinking that I've mentioned this in one of my earlier videos during this series, but I'm thinking about once this game is done doing a series very similar in World, basically trying to get first place on every track in World, and I feel like that one's going to be a lot more interesting just because World is a lot newer, as well as the rubber banding in World is going to make, I think, consistent first places a lot more difficult. So I'm considering doing that as well, but of course, I mean, at this point I'm only through Star Cup in terms of editing this, and I still have to finish some of the DLC cups and record those, so I'm like, we still got a lot of, there's still a lot of races and videos that I need to make on this one, so that'll be, decently in the future, not to mention all the other series that, I'm still working on, so. But, I would be interested to hear your thoughts about that, maybe somewhere around start of next year, starting that project, and maybe by that time we might also be getting some DLC for Mario Kart World, maybe some more courses, and so there'd be, a bit more to evaluate with that as well. Because I think that's one of the things that I was seeing a lot with people, of just that, they were a little, I don't know if disappointed is necessarily the right word, but at least like surprised that Mario Kart World didn't get a lot of DLC, or any DLC, I mean, in this last like Nintendo Direct that we had. Just cause like I feel like there's so much they can do with it, and since, you know, I feel like the amount of people playing is down at the moment, and, you know, on a decline. I feel like it'd be a, you know, good way to kind of reel some people back in and, you know, make some more engagements, because I mean, I'm like, it feels weird, but it's just like you know, it was like the launch title for the Switch too, and then it like already feels like it's, you know, lost its appeal because everyone's moved on to Bonanza. And then, you know, even after finishing Bonanza, people just, I feel like a lot of people just haven't come back to Mario Kart World, myself included. Now, you know, in my defense, I'm like extremely busy all the time, so I pretty much only get like 2 opportunities a week to play games. So I kind of have to choose, you know, pick and choose my battles at the moment, and I'm like, so, you know, just a little insight on, you know, my personal life a little bit. It's like I recently I bought a PS5, because I did have a PS4, but I was having issues running a lot of games on it and stuff, and load times were really bad, not because of my Wi-Fi, but because at this point my system is like functional, but not ideal, especially for online co-op stuff. So I, you know, saved up for a couple of months and finally, you know, got myself a PS5, and so I haven't been recording a bunch of videos and like gameplay on it, but I've pretty much just been playing it in my off time. I've basically just been playing, honestly, the most I've been playing has just been college football. Just cause it's like, I have played the like NCAA like 14 or 17 or whatever it was, like forever ago. So it's been fun playing the new college football, and, you know, representing my team as well as playing some other teams in college. So been having a lot of fun with that. So I don't know if you're interested on me, you know, playing some of those like sports games too. It's like I'd gladly make a series on that at some point, but for the moment, just too many projects to work on. But anyway, that was Star Cup. Honestly, one of my favorites. You know, if not my favorite, have to kind of, you know, sit down and I feel like fully evaluate that one. But just want to say thank you guys so much for watching. I'll keep posting videos as often as I can, and I'll see you guys in the next one.